Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. As always, welcome to my home. I'm back with another live chat today. I was going to do a pre-recorded video, but there has been some shock news since when I did my previous video yesterday. Of course, we've had the sad announcement from the royal family, or rather a branch of the royal family, about the very, very sad and shocking passing of Thomas Kingston, who is married to, well, was married to Lady Gabriella Windsor, who is the daughter of Prince and Princess Michael of Kent. So, on the fringes of royal life, but Her late Majesty and other members of the royal family did actually attend her wedding. She was even wearing a royal family tiara at her wedding on loan by Her late Majesty the Queen. So a very, very close family, if not albeit on the fringes of royal life. So that was very, very sad, and we'll talk about that in a little bit more detail in a moment. In this video, I also want to talk about the shock news about Prince. Well, it's not really shock because I always thought it would have this outcome anyway. But the news, the breaking news, that Prince Harry has lost his court case against the Home Office, against the government, regarding his personal private security when in the UK. So we'll talk about that as well. And the reason why I wanted to do a live chat rather than a pre-recorded is so that I can be immediate, I can be present, and of course I can talk to you guys and answer any burning, pressing questions you have about either of those subjects. So do ask the questions. Hello and welcome to everybody. Bernadette says, thank God the court got it right. Yes, and hold that thought, because I want to talk first of all about Thomas Kingston. So yesterday, of course, we had the Windsor St George's Chapel service for the late King Constantine of Greece. And of course, that was a private, well, I say it was private, sort of, the cameras were there, but it was classed as a private royal family service. So it wasn't, I suppose, a national celebration. It was a family occasion, which is why we saw the extended family there, which is why we saw Prince Andrew there, for example, leading the royal family down from Windsor Castle to St George's Chapel, which is not very far away. So if you haven't seen my video yesterday, my live chat, go check that out. I talk all about that. But the one thing that we were not aware of at that time was that the Prince and Princess Michael of Kent were actually going through a bereavement. So, of course, everybody was wearing black anyway because it was a memorial service. So, so basically, they were kind of, hiding this great loss that hadn't been announced to the public yet, that their son-in-law, Thomas Kingston, he was only 45 years old, passed away over the weekend. Of course, Lady Gabriella was not present. We all know why, because she was, mourning such a loss. It was so unexpected. As far as I'm concerned, there weren't any rumours of ill health. There hasn't been any suggestion of any foul play. The police are not investigating anything further. They've made an announcement. So it looks, everything is looking like it was leading to natural causes. But it's shocking being so young and leaving behind, a small child. It's sad. It's very, 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 very sad. So my condolences, and I know that of everyone watching, go out to Prince and Princess Michael of Kent, Lady Gabriella Windsor, all of the Kingston family, and all of their friends and associates that will have been affected by his sad loss. And of course, they were only married in 2019. I covered their event, their wedding, on this channel. So they've only been married literally 5 years. So very, very, very sad news. And who would have thought that Prince and Princess Michael of Kent were sort of sat on such a big loss? It's the British stiff upper lip to a T that they were able to attend. The palace has also confirmed that the reason why, the personal reasons why William, the Prince of Wales, did not attend. Yes, I said over the weekend. He died on the weekend. Yeah, Sunday. So people are telling me he died on Sunday. Yes, I said he passed away over the weekend. Um, just in case people didn't hear me. So it's not connected. William's absence was not connected to the passing of Thomas Kingston. That has been put out there. So the hunt still remains as for what the personal reasons were as why William did not attend. So, yeah, my heart goes out to Lady Gabriella Windsor, who is now a widow at such a young age. I now want to talk and move on to Prince Harry. So, as we know, Harry has had a number of grumbles, a number of gripes with the royal family, the British establishment, the government, and my goodness, everyone. He's had gripes with everyone. I don't think there's anyone he hasn't had gripes with. So he had a court case going, trying to overturn the decision to not give him the same level of security that personal private protection officers, close protection officers, when in the UK. So he definitely wasn't going to get it outside of the UK, but he wanted it when in the UK. And he claims that he's unsafe, that he's going to be the target of all this, that, and the other. And he says the UK is totally unsafe for him. Well, stay away then, my love. You stay away. You stay where you feel safe. If you feel safe in North America, then do feel free to stay there. Anyway, he appealed, or rather, he tried to take them to court to say that it was unfair, it was unjust, there was this and there was that that wasn't gone right, that Ravek should be held to their own rules. And Harry thought that he knew Ravek's rules more than what they did, more than what the government did. So he took them to court. And, it finally reached this conclusion, where the judge basically turned around and said, it's absolutely crystal clear that Harry is receiving adequate protection when in the UK, and that he does not have to have or need to have the same level of protection as what he did when he was a working member of the royal family. That risk level has dropped. However, they did stress that the protection he has received when he has graced us with his presence, flying in and flying out, he has received a certain level of protection. So, for example, we saw the police escorts from the airport to wherever he's going. So unofficially, he has received a level of protection, but he's not going to get it officially, and he certainly won't have it going to and from his own private events that he's set up. So the courts have deemed that the protection that he is still receiving is perfectly adequate, and that when he is, for example, at a royal family event, that he will have the protection accorded when that risk factor goes up. So basically, regarding on what the risk is, or any information received, reporting to, or pertaining to a risk or a threat, then that will be addressed on a case-by-case, visit-by-visit basis. But he is going to have to inform them every time he comes in and out of the country so that they can prepare. So anyway, Harry is not taking this lying down, although I think he probably should. He needs to give up the ghost. It's costing him a lot of money to take the government to court, and I think he needs to wind it in a little bit, accept defeat gracefully, because it's not going to be overturned. Prince Harry is set to appeal after the High Court ruled the Home Office decision to downgrade his personal security was lawful. As his team say, the Duke is not asking for preferential treatment. Well, he is, because no other member of the royal family receives close protection when they are not a working member of the royal family and they are technically a non-resident of the country. So he would be asking for preferential treatment. So yes, he's going to appeal and take action over the move by the executive committee. And his lawyers claim that he was singled out and treated less favourably in the February 2020 decision by the body, which falls under the Home Office. But at a hearing, the case was dismissed, and the Duke's protection should be bespoke and considered on a case-by-case basis. So there we go. A spokesperson for Harry said he would appeal, adding that he was not asking for preferential treatment, but for a fair and lawful application of Ravek's own rules. Well, they did. That is what the judge has found, that they have done. Blah, blah, blah. There is a document that has been redacted. Yeah, I think it's just, we, the British people, should not be encumbered with his costs. Let's have a look. And I don't think his challenge, even if he does put out his challenge, if he does challenge it, an appeal, I don't think the outcome will be any different. Even if it could be proven that they didn't apply their own rules. What Ravek are saying, and what the judge agrees with, is that the outcome would not have been any different. The threat and the risk level is still exactly the same. So Harry is not going to play his Montecito Snake Mountain slippery slivery game and get away with it on this occasion. Right, I now want to kind of go up and see what people are saying. Which tiara am I wearing? It is the Tech Crescent tiara. Can you see it if I sort of do this? It's got little moons and stars. Bernadette says, after everything the royal family is going through, and also this country, I still think it's okay to ask for this. I'm not quite entirely sure what you're saying, but yes, the royal family are certainly going through a lot at the moment. We've got Catherine incapacitated, William, who's having time off for, missed one event for personal reasons. We've got the passing of Thomas Kingston. We've got Harry and Meghan running amok, trying to cause all of their different shenanigans. Yes, it is a very turbulent time for the royal family. Olympic Grade Alert says Harry is just too special for this world. Oh, yes. Oh my goodness, yes. The world owes Harry a right. Of course they do. We should all get on our knees and bow down to the presence that is Harry whenever he decides to fly in and grace us with his presence. We need to get down and bow down and thank him so much for coming back. How grateful we are. How he should be protected above everybody else. What a load of nonsense. That's absolutely not what people are thinking. People are thinking, get on with it. If you want to go, then go. Stay over there. and and do what you want, but don't make money off the back of the royal family. Jan D says Rachel and Andrew should be removed from the royal website now. I mean, it is a case in point. They are still members of the family. I think obviously their bios and things have been sort of updated to reflect a more minimal presence on the royal family website. But, Harry does remain fifth in line to the throne. He is married to the monster of Montecito. So, they're worth a mention, but I don't really think they need pages and pages and pages. We have Sussex.com for that. So anybody who wants, smoke blowing up Harry and Meghan's backsides, go to Sussex.com. They've written their own CV. They've got their own glowing reports. They've got their own school cards where they've given themselves A's. They are A grade according to their own PR spin. Rachel, who's Rachel? Rachel is Meghan's real name. It's her first name. She was actually christened Rachel Meghan, and she chose Meghan as her name to go by. Bernadette says, "I'm so annoyed with Harry, I can't type." Sandy says he is such a petulant prince. He is the prince of petulance. It's unreal. Of course, Meghan behind pushing him because she wants the IPP, International Protected Person status. Yes, of course she does. She wants to live in a castle. She wants the protection status. She wants the HRH. She wants everything royal, but she doesn't want to do the groundwork. She doesn't want to live here. She wants all the benefits and the perks of being of tailgating off Harry's tailcoats, but she doesn't want to do anything herself. So that's exactly the actions of the Montecito monster. Yes, it was such a shock about Thomas Kingston. I mean, tragedies happen in the world, and that is one of them. A youngish. Well, he's 45. I mean, he's not a million miles away from my age, so I'm still classing that as young. So a young family unit, fairly newly married. It was a complete tragedy and a shock because, like I say, we didn't think that there was anything wrong. There was no reports of ill health, so that has come as a complete shock. Totally. Miss Echo says, "You're quite the child, aren't you?" No, my reactions to Harry and Meghan, I mean, if anybody's being childish, it's the petulant prince. My goodness. How many toys is he going to throw out of his privileged pram? The privileged pram of petulance. He's throwing toys tossing them left, right, and centre. So if anyone's being childish, I do believe that it's Harry. Gregory says, "What is your reaction to her declaring she is too academic?" Well, I've not actually heard that. I mean, if Meghan's been claiming that she's too academic, well, my goodness, maybe she should give up the high life. Maybe she should give up fame and fortune and go and work in the world of academia, where teachers and academics work tirelessly, incredibly hard. I mean, if she wants to go and work in a school, then become a high school teacher, you go for it, my love. You survive on a teacher's salary. You survive on an academic's wage. Give up all the frivolities of Hollywood and Oprah and all the rest of it. If you're too academic, you go and work in the real world of academia and see how you like it, my love. That's what I say to you. Olympic Grade Lurg says, Elliot's reactions are what we all feel inside, exactly. Meza says, the Queen said adequate security, not high level. Well, appropriate. Where there is a threat, then appropriate security should be given. The same as what should be given to any UK citizen if there have been reports of any threats or whatever. Miss Echo says, "You're very, very boring, I must say." Quite frankly, my love, I think I'm finding you quite boring. I suggest this might not be the channel for you, my love, so feel free to unsubscribe. I really don't mind. Peggy says, "I'm so happy that the court case for security was a win for us all. Harry should pay for his own security." Well, he is paying for his own security, but what he feels it's not special enough. So the security that's perfectly adequate in the US isn't adequate in the UK, apparently. Now I know that the security over here cannot carry weapons such as they do in the UK, but there is also a distinct lack of weapons of that nature in the UK. So, and also if there was a particular threat or he was going somewhere, public, that was where he was being a member of the royal family in terms of personal matters, he would have that security anyway. And of course, at Frogmore Cottage, he had the security that was afforded for it being in the zone of a royal park. Oh, thank you so much. We have a donation, $5 from Stephanie 4377, who says Harry is the real snake, not Meghan. Well, thank you so much for your donation. It really does help. I appreciate it. Yes, the pair of them, it's interchangeable. They are both as bad as each other. Harry has always harboured, he's always had this complex about being the spare, hasn't he? But it was all under control. It was all being managed. He was universally loved by the people of Britain and the Commonwealth. He was doing well. He'd turned his life around. He turned his life around after the strip poker and all the other events that had gone on. He'd started the Invictus Games based on the Warrior Games, and his life was publicly doing really, really well. Now, privately, he must have still been going through all of his mental health battles regarding the media and the passing of his mother and feeling like he was the spare, but it was all under control. The one common denominator in all of this is when the monster of Montecito came on the scene and knew how to push all of his buttons. And of course, she got his buttons popping. He was like a Duracell battery being popped in. And she encouraged everything. So, although Harry is the own instigator, is his own instigator of all of this, there was a certain someone pushing from the wings, I might add. There's one common denominator. All roads lead to the monster of Montecito. JD says, you lift our hearts. Thank you. Christine says, they need real jobs. Walmart is always hiring. Oh, he couldn't stuff a burger. My God, what is he actually qualified for, to be quite honest? He couldn't stuff a burger. He wouldn't know his way around a chicken nugget if it tried, if one hit him in the face. Sandy says, was he not in the military? Does he not know how to protect himself? Yes, he was in the military. And to be honest, he wouldn't have got as highly as he did in the military so quickly if he hadn't have been a member of the royal family. I'm not saying he didn't, give his time and his duty and his service, which we all read about later in Spare when he monetized it. I'm not saying anything about that. But I do wonder what would have become of Harry if he was just if he was born a regular citizen without any royal connections. What would he have been? What would he have amounted to? Now, there's a question I'd love to know. In an ulterior universe, Kathy says Catherine is at home recovering from surgery. Yes, as we can quite imagine, quite serious surgery. So she is taking the time to recuperate. And I said in yesterday's video that once it gets past Easter, I think they're going to have to do some kind of update. I mean, it wouldn't hurt them, as long as Catherine's up to it, to maybe release a photograph of her, reading some of the get well soon cards, a little bit like what the king put out, just to kind of reassure us, just to kind of, show her face. But she might not be feeling up to that at this moment. So we do have to keep that in mind. Gregory says they are speculating that the pair are moving to Canada. Oh, I wouldn't wish that on the Canadians, my love. Not again. They've already done their time. They've done their little time and service. My goodness. Oh, no. No. I mean, does anybody want them, really? I'm waiting. Does anybody want them? He would have amounted to nada. Yes, I don't think he would have. Well, I mean, who knows? Who knows what he would have done? Support the Art says Trump is going to kick him out anyway if he's re-elected. Oh, don't let us get started on the election. My goodness. But no, I mean, the one thing that is sort of true and correct that we can say about Trump is that he's not a big fan of the monster of Montecito, is he? So certainly, I don't think there would be any preferential favoritism offered towards Harry and Meghan if Trump became president of the US again. Nobody wants them anywhere. They're toxic, says Meza. Peggy says Harry should be able to protect himself. Is he not a healthy 40-year-old man who has been photographed jogging and leaving a gym? I mean, I'm not saying that they don't have, an increased threat level because of who they are, but he was given a very clear choice, and he chose to leave. There was that year in review granted by Her Late Majesty where he could have considered. He was shown documents. Today it came out, it was revealed, he was shown documents about his protection, about what it would be if he left. So to claim that he didn't know what was coming, or it was done to him as a snap decision, is a complete load of nonsense. He knew full well when it came to that year in review, that April, when he continued his decision to step back and leave, he knew that he was turning his own back, his choice, not anyone else's. It was his choice to turn his back on that security, nobody else's. Kimberly says, we all have the right to free speech. If that's the way she feels, then she has the right. Let's be kind. Well, if Meghan thinks she's too academic for everyone, then, like I said, go and work in the world of academia and see if, well, to be fair though, she's not that academic, is she? Because if she was academic, if she was that intelligent, if she was that bright, if she had that many brain cells, she wouldn't be making the amount of PR disasters that she's currently making. So she's not that clever, is she, my loves? Is all I've got to say on that one. Because people see straight through it. Kathy says, although Harry will appeal, that is nothing to worry about. Appeals are common, but rarely succeed. I don't think this is one appeal that he's going to win. That decision, the wording by the judge, sounded very definitive and even sort of preempted an appeal by Harry. I don't think an appeal is going to work in this situation. Harry has well and truly lost his royal security and protection. TX says he could always go to Mexico and migrate with the illegals at our southern border. Well, it's not my job to talk about a nation's security, and in particular border security. But no, Harry and Meghan have as much right as anyone else to apply legally to move to whatever country they want to, should anybody wish to have them. But I suspect that they are probably going to stay in the US for the foreseeable future. Harry has now lost major face with the whole Ravek debacle, which again he brought on himself. He was already receiving, a protection when he flew in and out, when he decided to grace us with his presence. But he stirred it up. He wanted more. He always wants more. He always wants to press on and push the boundary of what he's entitled to. So again, he's just brought it on himself. Christine says, what I'm sick of is these royal reporters saying the royal family needs Baldy and Beige back to help. Yeah, I think that is just press talk, to be honest, just to get all the column inches. The truth of the matter is, if King Charles decides that he wants extra help, and I think he does need it, we have two blood princesses, Beatrice and Eugenie, waiting in the wings, perfectly able to take on those royal duties. I already can sense something happening with Princess Beatrice holding that reception at St. James's Palace. I think was a bit of a trial, a bit of a precursor to see how it went. It wouldn't surprise me if at some point during this year, at least Princess Beatrice is made a working member of the royal family. We shall see. Support the answers. I'm sure Canada is just as worried about their southern border as the US is. Laura says, do we know how Kate is? Apparently she's doing well. That was what the palace sort of put out, is that she's doing well. So And they also have said that William's absence for personal reasons, not connected to Thomas Kingston's passing. So that's what they've said. That's all we know. Diz Fan says the monsters of Montecito clearly didn't understand the history between the two countries, US and the UK. I begin to wonder if Harry knows about the Tea Party. Well, yeah, I mean, I think the US has always had a little bit of not an interest that's like widely spread, but there's this interest, a casual interest, I shall say, in the royal family. More of a curiosity, I would say, like from afar, just having a little look from afar. And I think certainly out of all the different monarchies around the world, the US has a particular interest in the UK monarchy. It doesn't mean anything in the US, but I think there's just a bit of a casual interest. Not by everybody, but more so than other monarchies around the world. And I think Harry and Meghan thought that by capitalizing in the way that they have done off the back of their royal connections, they thought they were going to break America and take it by storm. It just turned into a complete PR disaster because people in the States know that it's not good form to make money off the back of your family if your family are not also in on it. So we're not talking the Kardashians here, where all the Kardashians are out to make money and, capitalize off each other. We're not talking a Kardashian situation here. We're talking the British royal family. So people know the difference between the Kardashians and what they do and what Harry and Meghan are doing to the royal family. It's a very clear distinction, and it's not washing, and it's not going down very well. Karen says we have a more vulgar term for clout chaser. I'm not going to read that one. Joe says it's definitely time to see other royal family members become working royals. I don't remember hearing that Beatrice or Eugenie have ever put a foot wrong publicly. They haven't really. The only thing they've been accused of from time to time is having too many holidays abroad. But wouldn't we all, my loves? Lacey says good morning, good morning. And Sandy says no, a lot of us Americans have royal ancestry and are keeping up with our history. That is one way of looking at it. There is a heritage there, and there is a shared interest between the UK and the US. Sandy says not a lot of us Americans have royal. Oh, I think I've just read that one. Support the Art says we have much more dire things to worry about here in the US than Harry and Meghan. I could write a list. Yes, and I'm sure all that's going to come to a head with the upcoming elections. Don't worry, the UK's in the same boat. We've got our own elections as well coming up. Sometime this year, at least by sort of September, I think we'll be having our general election. And like in the US, it's divided politics. People don't really know who to trust anymore. People have a general dislike of politicians in general. People think that they're all out for themselves, and the choice is very limited, I think. So don't worry, my loves, we've got it. We're with you. We have solidarity. The UK and the US, we are solidified in the political debacles that are going on, and how difficult it is to vote. Ralph Owen says, support the arts. Ask Christopher Gibbons and Tyrone, who was Harry and Archie safe here? I think they were. I think they were safe here. They had royal protection when Harry and Meghan were working members of the royal family. Even all the members of the family have threats from time to time. So, and it's all dealt with. So Harry and Meghan were. But let's put it this way: if Harry and Meghan did not feel protected, why is Harry doing what he's doing now to get that protection back? I'm waiting. Anyway, I am going to go now. Thank you for watching this video. Again, my heart goes out to the friends and family and associates of Thomas Kingston. Such a sad passing at such a young age, and I'm sure that he will be leaving behind a big gaping hole in people's hearts and thoughts. So my condolences and that of the Royal Reviewer viewers go out to friends and family. But also, it's a day of two halves. We can also celebrate for Harry losing the court case against the Home Office. So Martina says, you always make me laugh. Yes, Harry knows more than the law. Harry is the law. Why don't we just make Harry king now? I don't think so. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media. And of course, do hit the bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. So from me, mwah, to you all, and goodbye.